Yo, what's up? You watching Drift Ninja TV. This is part 3 of the budget modifications that I'm doing to this Chevy Prizm, converting it over to a TRD edition of the Toyota Corolla. It's the best of both worlds. I took the best parts of both cars and made it into an awesome show car example. And I'm just going to give you a walk around. I'm planning on selling this in a couple of months, like maybe like 3 to 6 months, and I'm pretty much done all the modifications. You can see this is the front bumper that you saw in the second video, so you get 2 options. Here's a wide throttle body spacer. I couldn't install that because the air intake manifold is different between the 2 cars. Some of the stuff I did switch over to the Corolla though includes front bumper, back bumper, this radio. I like the interior of the Prizm better, so I kept it. The only differences in the interior are actually the air exit vents, and it actually has a pocket in the back seat. There's a car cover on it, so you can't really see it, but down there. So that's like a little bit more functional. And other than that, it's very much the same. As you can see, I finished blacking out the interior, other than that floor. And I did not clean or vacuum this car or anything. That ZX5R is from my Ninja 500 belly. I finally got the roof panel back in. I was thinking about doing a plexiglass full sunroof over the full thing, but it wouldn't really increase the value of the car. So even though I definitely wanted to, I opted not to after much reluctancy. For the interior, I put some carbon fiber pads on the I guess where it handles. Really funny mod right here that is actually making fun of flat pedal gearboxes, because I'm a huge fan of the shifter, even though this is automatic. But this slips right over the cruise control button, and it's still functional, which is pretty sweet. As well as it actually has a flappy paddle movement to it. Just stuff here and there. This guy. And it's funny because if a cop pulls you over, this guy's like staring right at him, staring him down. I've had that happen only once so far since that's been up. I got Zombie Zach's sword back there. And when I say this interior's blacked out, it's really blacked out. Even if you remove a lot of these panels, there's black behind. I got my fuzzy car seat, which I took that inspiration off of the awesome animated show Motor City. And I also took inspiration from this whole car, not only from JDM Japanese racer theme, but also like Hot Wheels, and so I get a lot of compliments from little kids on this car. You pretty much, I think, saw my full body kit other than these fender flares. Put this final panel in here. And I also put a filler panel in here. Still haven't wired up the fog lights, so they're purely aesthetic. And as you can see, that hole I was trying to mount this tow hook to, but I ended up putting it here for 2 reasons. First, that hole was giving me trouble, and second, I wanted it to stick out further and actually be in this exact location. So I ended up comically mounting it to plastic, so just with a pinky finger you can wiggle it. So if you were to try to tow from that, it would just rip the whole front bumper off, which I find funny. This car is kind of a response to my last blue car, where people were like, oh, that's hilarious. I'm like, you want to see hilarious? I will make you a hilarious car. But at the same time, I kind of hacked up this car a little bit more and made its performance even better in the blue car. So it's a bit more serious, racing around the corners. Only thing that my blue car had better was the rims. These are just like some Pep Boy rims, but my blue car had the N-Kinds. I have this carbon fiber. I would actually call it a universal side skirt because I have a bunch of these. This is actually a piece of steel that they use for 2x4s in houses. And I just painted it black and then glossed it, and the texture actually makes it look like carbon fiber. Or farbon fiber, as I would like to say. And that's also awesome because it bolts in the front and the back, and then one bolt here. And that just serendipitously happened to be here for, I guess, like an outlet mount or something. These mud flaps are awesome. I wanted to see the cheapest way I could make mud flaps, because mud flaps are like anywhere from like $50 to $250, and these mud flaps are made out of plastic school folders, and I did all 4 for $2, and they match the car pretty closely. The car is painted in habanero orange paint, and it's bright orange in the afternoon and red at night. It's got variable valve timing and dual overhead cam, 1.8 liter engine, so it's still pretty slow, especially with these bigger tires. But Jeremy Clarkson said this car was very boring to drive, and with some of the handling modifications that I've done to this car, weight reduction, front strut bar, tires, it's actually fun to handle around these twisty roads around PA, Westchester, where I live. I have the WRX roof scoop on here, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Mounted that up in under an hour, and it doesn't leak at all. Just with 2 bolts on either side, and I would say if you could find these on eBay, you could do it yourself too. Just look at the geometry I'm using here. It actually almost touches this door seal, and I think it looks great. And it's also very low profile, so it's actually not catching a lot of wind, so it's not adding much drag to the car at all. And a lot of people laugh at front wheel drive cars with the rear wing, and they're like, oh, you don't need downforce on your back tires. And what people don't know, I actually work at a van company and think about fluid dynamics all the time, and have capabilities to test it. And most wings don't add downforce anyways, or fractional amounts. And this wing is on there for aesthetics, but not purely. Wings on cars like this with the sedan back, the wing actually completes the aerodynamics and makes it slip through the air faster at higher speeds. As you can see, I did the $3 hood mod, seen on many Japanese cars, which allows the pressure from your engine bay to rush up over your windshield, adding a minute amount of downforce on the front of your car, as well as it makes it more of a wedge, reducing drag by minute amounts, and also it cools your engine bay. I think there's a YouTube video, and the kid said it cooled the engine temperature by 13 degrees, which everybody knows would make a car go a tiny bit faster. Got drilled inside the rotors. I didn't bother painting these calipers. So this is a bumper for the Toyota Corolla, but to fit the Chevy Prizm, I just had to take off these 2 little edges and add these adapter pieces on, which are made out of aluminum. I put a piece of grill mesh down here. I kept the grill mesh that this came with, painted it black. I actually have grill mesh to go in between all these guys too. This is actually an offcut to this bumper, as you can see, and I made it a GTR front inspired. You guys can comment which front bumper you like. I was planning on either doing that sunroof or a huge Japanese flag on the roof. I might still do the flag if I'm bored and have no other design projects to do. I have these pieces of reflective tape just to add safety to the car, some more reflectiveness. Alright, so under the hood, here's my front strut bar. And it's actually very sweet because it's a universal one, and these are dialed all the way in, so it's actually the most structural it could be. Got my Darth Vader under there, my little dude. My Red Bull, my Nas can stickers, or sorry, aluminum logos. Got some like Livestrong type bracelets around everything. I tried to make this car pretty colorful. Little kitty. Got a nice TRD logo that was red, but I painted the car color orange. This is just a cap to the high heat orange paint, and I use that to keep my bolts if I'm working on the within the engine bay. Here's the stock air box. It's got that reflective aluminum taping to keep it a little bit cooler, with a piece of aluminum that I actually made for another car as a heat shield, but I slipped that in here under this engine cover. This engine cover is textured, so this carbon fiber stuff doesn't stick to it quite well. And this TRD thing I'm actually replacing with the stock cap because it's a little bit lighter, and I carbon fiber at the top of that, and I think it'll look better. Small Monster logo on the battery because that was quite lame, and I sanded. I just started to sand these things because they got a little bit of speckles on them. So once I finish that, that'll look very nice, almost like a turbo manifold. People really like how prominent that thing is in the engine bay. Here is the high flow cold air intake. I actually have a cold air box from it, and it's actually fed by this cold air scoop. That's why that's placed like that. And this actually mounts in the car like this under the front strut bar. I was playing around with this a lot. That's why there's that handkerchief in the end. There's a vortex generator, which doesn't speed up the air, but it actually, if you place it in the right way, it does make your air start to vortex. And as you can see, this air intake actually has a twist to it. So maybe that would help minute amounts. However, I did not have a tune on this car, so it was running lean, so I had to take it off. I had a whole bunch of different tests and videos with different exhaust and intake setups, but it all pretty much sounded the same without the tune. I had these Mugen Power stickers on the I guess strut mounts or something, whatever they're called, and that actually makes it look a little bit more beefy. The lighting's pretty bad right now. Also took off the sound damper from the underneath of the hood. I might have said that in another video. And also there was a straight bar coming up that I took out just for weight and to make it 2 X's, which looks better. This is kind of like a little graffiti thing I do, like 3 dots. If you ever see that around Philly or Westchester, that's me, along with my Lifestar logo.